Halo, balik lagi sama aku Devi Janti. Kali ini aku mau ngebahas tentang TOEFL lagi. Jadi di sini aku mau tes kemampuan TOEFL aku. Sebenarnya aku tuh nggak pinter-pinter amat di bahasa Inggris. Bahkan kemarin kalian tahu berapa skorku waktu tes TOEFL online di rumah di video ini. Jadi sekarang aku mau tes TOEFL menggunakan aplikasi Genius Toefl. Jadi kemarin aku sudah sempat bilang ke kalian kalau ada salah satu aplikasi yang bisa kalian gunakan untuk latihan TOEFL, dimana nanti misalkan kalau kalian tes online kayak yang aku ikutin kemarin tuh, aplikasi ini lumayan berguna karena 11-12 atau mirip banget dengan aplikasi yang digunakan waktu ujian. Nah, di sini aplikasi Genius Toefl-nya itu free. Aku kemarin asal-asalan aja download, ternyata ketemu ini waktu mau prepare buat
Welcome to Genius Toefl.
Oke, jadi di sini udah jalan. Jadi di sini pas kalian udah install aplikasi Genius Toefl-nya, kalian harus registrasi nama kalian dulu. Jadi di sini aku tulis nama aku Devi Janti, submit. Kemudian sebenarnya nih aplikasinya berbayar, tapi aku gunakan versi trial dulu. Nanti kalian akan dapat kode aktivasi untuk membayarnya. Minus menggunakan trial tanpa berbayar ini, dia akan keluar pop-up setiap kalian jawab tesnya. Oke, kita pilih exercise. Oh no, back. Ini backnya ya. Kita pilih praktik tes. Kemudian di sini kita bisa milih listening part 1, ada sampai 5 part, bayangin. Kemudian strukturnya juga sampai 5 part, reading sampai 5 part. Kita pilih listening 1, struktur 1, dan reading 1, dan klik mulai tes. Ini tesnya berlangsung selama 1 jam. Jadi siapkan kertas pulpen untuk menjawab. Kita jawab sama-sama. Ini mending aku gimana caranya full screen ya? Wait. Nih, Anda akan memiliki. Oke, ini kode aktivasinya. Kita kembali. Oh, kita klik no ya.
Section 1. Listening Comprehension. In this section of the test, you will have an opportunity to demonstrate your ability to understand conversations and talks in English. There are 3 parts to this section, with special directions for each part.
Dan ini udah
Answer
mulai
all the questions on the basis of what is stated or implied by the speakers you hear.
Oke,
Do
setelah
not
kita
take
tes,
notes
karena ini
or
durasinya
write in
1
your
jam,
test book
kemudian
at any
HP-ku
time.
nggak kuat buat ngerekam
Do
selama
not
1
turn the
jam,
pages
aku
until you are
bakal
told to do so.
merekam via
Part
voice note
A.
saja.
Directions. In Part A, you will hear short conversations between 2 people. After each conversation, you will hear a question about the conversation. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Listen to an example. On the recording, you will hear,
That exam was just awful.
Oh, it could have been worse.
"What does the woman mean?" In your test book, you will read, A. The exam was really awful. B. It was the worst exam she had ever seen. C. It couldn't have been more difficult. D. It wasn't that hard. You learn from the conversation that the man thought the exam was very difficult, and that the woman disagreed with the man. The best answer to the question, "What does the woman mean?" is D. It wasn't that hard. Therefore, the correct choice is D. Now we will begin Part A.
I can't do anything else now. I'm famished.
Then let's go have a snack. That should help.
Number 1. What does the man mean?
Did you see the story in the headline of today's paper?
Yes, I did, and it made me feel sad.
Number 2. What does the woman mean?
There's a movie I really wanted to see. Does that sound like a good idea to you?
I'll say.
Number 3. What does the man mean?
I hope you had a nice and relaxing walk.
I did. The paths through the campus were covered with falling leaves, and it was gorgeous.
Number 4. What does the man mean?
Who is that over there next to the mailbox? Could it be Brandon?
I can't really tell from here.
Number 5. What does the woman mean?
When is the exam in history class?
It's in 2 days, isn't it?
Number 6. What does the woman say about the exam?
What did Professor Randall say about our lab reports? Do they have to be typed?
He'll accept handwritten reports as long as they aren't illegible.
In that case, I guess I'd better type mine.
Number 7. What does the woman mean?
Can you believe it? We're out of paper. We can't finish printing the last few pages of this report without more paper.
We'll just have to go to the store now and get some more. I want to be finished with this report.
Number 8. What problem do they have?
I'm taking this book back to the library now.
So you do have the book.
Number 9. What had the woman assumed?
I need a printer for my computer. I knocked mine off the table and it broke.
Then I think you're in luck. I saw a used one like yours for sale in the student newspaper just this morning.
Number 10. According to the woman, what is for sale?
You're going to walk all the way across campus in just a sweater?
Sure. Why not?
But it's so cold and cloudy outside, and it looks like rain.
Number 11. What is the woman concerned about?
Did you really want to join the chess team?
I couldn't have wanted it more.
Number 12. What does the man mean?
We've gone over these figures 3 times, and they still don't come out right.
I wish I had brought my calculator. It would have been a lot easier.
And we'd be done by now.
Number 13. What does the woman mean?
I'm not happy about the new library hours.
Neither am I. The library used to be open many more hours on the weekends.
Number 14. What does the man mean?
I hope you got into the same psychology class that I did. If you did, then we can work on the same team for the class project.
Unfortunately, that class was closed by the registrar because it was over-enrolled.
Number 15. What does the woman say about the class?
Had you been planning to give Karen a ride to the rehearsal?
Not if she hadn't asked.
Number 16. What does the man imply about Karen?
I can't believe that Rob actually got the highest grade on this physics exam.
He's really turned over a new leaf. Last semester, he would have had the lowest.
Number 17. What does the woman say about Rob?
So did you and Joan run across any bargains at the yard sale?
Well, there were a lot of items under $5, but I didn't find anything worth toting home, and neither did Joan.
Number 18. What does the woman mean?
Where did you get this book bag? I've never seen anything like it.
Isn't it wonderful? It holds everything I need and keeps it all organized. I came across it at the university bookstore. You could get one there for yourself.
Number 19. What does the man say about the book bag?
Do you think that the professor would let me turn in the paper a day late?
I wouldn't count on that if I were you. This professor rarely gives extensions on due dates.
Number 20. What does the man mean?
Are you going to be finished soon?
I just need to pull a few more weeds, and then what are the plans?
Number 21. What is the woman most likely doing?
Jim's already back from today's field trip to the museum.
Oh, he is? How did he like the trip?
He said that it wasn't his cup of tea.
Number 22. What does the woman say about Jim?
I'd like to talk with you about my paycheck for last week. I think that the amount is too low by about $20.
I'll look into the situation and get back to you tomorrow.
Number 23. What does the woman promise to do?
How did you do on Professor Grady's chemistry test?
I wish I had studied harder.
Number 24. What does the man say about the test?
Which brand of paint do you think we should get?
How about this one? It costs a little bit more, but it's never supposed to peel, crack, or fade. You just paint once, and it lasts for a lifetime.
Anything that claims to do all that must be overrated.
Number 25. What does the man think about the paint?
I have a problem with my paper. It's not done, and I'm not feeling very well, so I'm not going to be able to get it done on time.
Why don't you ask the professor for an extension? Maybe she'll give you one.
Number 26. What does the man suggest?
I'm sure the professor said to read only chapters 5 and 7 for tomorrow.
So we don't have to read chapter 6, too.
Number 27. What had the woman assumed?
Is your graduate program going well? Do you think you'll be able to finish your degree on time?
I'm not sure. Sometimes it feels like I'm trying to swim upstream.
Number 28. What does the woman mean?
Where was Carl during the orientation?
He said he couldn't figure out where to go, so he missed it.
Well, no one else had a problem finding the right place.
Number 29. What can be inferred from the conversation?
Matthew has decided to withdraw his nomination as student body president.
That's too bad. No one is more capable than he is.
Yeah, I know. I was really hoping he would run.
Number 30. What does the woman say about Matthew? Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear longer conversations. Questions 31 through 34. Listen to a conversation between two students. The conversation is about a debate in economics class.
Are you prepared for the debate in economics class? It's tomorrow, you know.
Not yet. I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to prepare for it.
Well, you know that the debate is going to be on free trade.
I know. So we really need to understand free trade because we're having a debate on free trade.
That's right.
But what I don't understand is what the professor means by debate.
Well, a debate is an organized discussion, but you won't discuss both sides. You have to argue either for or against something.
So I need to be prepared to argue for or against free trade?
Not exactly. The professor said we need to be prepared for both sides of the debate.
You mean we have to be prepared to argue either for free trade or against free trade?
Exactly. Then, in class on the day of the debate, the professor will choose students and assign them to a team to argue one side of the debate or the other.
So the professor will assign us to argue either for free trade or against free trade? We don't get to choose which side of the debate we will argue?
Exactly.
So we have to be prepared for both sides of the debate.
That's exactly right.
Number 31. When is the debate? Number 31. When is the debate? Number 32. How does the woman describe a debate? Number 33. How are they supposed to prepare for the debate? Number 34. What will happen on the day of the debate? Questions 35 through 38. Listen to a conversation between two friends. The conversation is about a film festival.
Are you going to see any of the films at the film festival?
I certainly am. I went to the film festival last year, and it was great. I saw every one of the films. I wouldn't miss it this year.
So you went last year. Then maybe you can give me some information about it, because I've never been to it.
Well, what do you need to know? The film festival lasts for 5 days. It starts on Wednesday and runs through Sunday. And there are 15 featured films, 3 films each day.
Are the 15 films shown only one time each?
No, there are 3 featured films each day, and each of the films is shown twice on the day it's scheduled, once in the afternoon and once in the evening. By the way, have you gotten your tickets yet?
No, not yet. Should I get them soon?
Absolutely. You should get them as soon as possible. A number of the shows are already sold out.
I should get tickets immediately then. Are there any films that you recommend?
I'd recommend seeing as many of the films as you can. The films at this festival are all lesser known but high-quality films. All of the ones I saw last year were really good, and I'm expecting the same quality this year.
Okay, I have one more question for you. Can you tell me where I can get tickets to the film festival?
I can do even better than that. I'm heading in the direction of the ticket office, and I can show you where it is.
Number 35. What does the man say about last year's film festival? Number 35. What does the man say about last year's film festival?
Number 36. What is true about this year's film festival? Number 37. How are the films scheduled? Number 38. What kinds of films are shown at this festival?
Part C. Directions. In this part of
Questions 39 through 42. Listen to a lecture by a professor in a geology course. The lecture is on coal.
Today I'll be talking about coal and how it was formed. Coal is a rock that is mostly made of carbon. It can, in fact, be up to 90% carbon. Coal has been formed from the remains of living plant life. When plants die and are put under pressure for millions of years, coal is formed. Thus, for coal to form, 3 things are required: lots of dead plant life, lots of pressure on the dead plant life, and the passage of lots of time. Most of today's coal began to form about 350 million years ago. The period of time 350 million years ago, when coal began forming, was called the Carboniferous period. Even though Carboniferous is a rather long name, I think you can understand that the name Carboniferous contains the word carbon. The period is called the Carboniferous period because it's when coal began forming, and coal is mostly made of carbon. During the Carboniferous period 350 million years ago, the land was covered with huge forests and considerable plant life. There was much more plant life covering the land than there is today. When the huge forests of the Carboniferous period died, they came under pressure, and over millions of years became the coal deposits of today.
Number 39. What is stated about coal and carbon? Number 39. What is stated about coal and carbon? Number 40. What is not mentioned as necessary for coal to form? Number 41. How long ago did coal begin forming? Number 42. What does the professor say about the Carboniferous period?
Questions 43 through 46. Listen to a talk by a guide on a tour of Washington, D.C. The guide is talking about Ford's Theater.
The next stop on our tour of Washington, D.C. is Ford's Theater, which I'm sure you all recognize as the place where President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Lincoln was assassinated on April 14, 1865, while he was watching a performance of the play Our American Cousin at Ford's Theater. During the performance, Lincoln was shot in the head by assassin John Wilkes Booth. After being shot, the still-living Lincoln was carried across the street to a boarding house, where he died early the next morning. On this tour, you'll have the opportunity to see both Ford's Theater itself and the boarding house across the street from the theater where Lincoln spent his final hours. Let me give you a bit of background information about Ford's Theater before we arrive there. The theater was named Ford's Theater because it was built by a theater producer named John T. Ford. The theater was built by Ford in 1863, just 2 years before Lincoln was assassinated there in 1865. When Ford built the theater, it was during the Civil War. Washington, D.C. was a very busy city during the Civil War, and Ford's Theater was quite popular. After Lincoln's assassination in Ford's Theater, the popularity of the theater diminished considerably. The public stopped attending the theater because of the tragedy that had occurred there. Within a year of the assassination, Ford was forced to sell the theater. The theater was purchased by the government in 1866, and during the century following the assassination, it was allowed to fall into disrepair. About 100 years after the assassination, the government decided to restore Ford's Theater. Today, small productions are staged at the theater, and the presidential box where Lincoln was assassinated has been decorated as it was when Lincoln was there. Okay, from here you can see Ford's Theater on the left and the boarding house where Lincoln died on the right. We'll be stopping here for a while so that you can take a closer look.
Number 43. Which of the following did not occur at Ford's Theater?
Number 43. Which of the following did not occur at Ford's Theater? Number 44. How long did Ford actually own the theater? Number 45. What happened to Ford's Theater in the 100 years after Lincoln's assassination? Number 46. What is true about Ford's Theater today?
Questions 47 through 50. Listen to a talk by a professor in a political science course. In the talk, the professor is explaining an assignment.
Today I will be explaining to you what I'm looking for in your research papers. As you should know from the course syllabus, there's a major research paper for this course. It should be a 20 to 25 page paper, and it counts as 50% of the grade in this course. As I said, it's a major assignment. The most important idea that I'd like you to understand is that this is a research paper. This means that what you write should be based on your research, and it's important for you to base your writing on very solid research. The best papers are those that are based on solid research. For research in a course like this, you should look at a variety of sources. You should, of course, look at books related to your topic, but books should not be your only sources. Journals are as important as books when you're conducting your research. Journals contain academic articles, and you should, of course, be aware of the academic articles that have been written on topics related to yours. Another important source for your research is government publications and documents. Government publications and documents present a different perspective, that of the government in relation to your topic. And finally, you may also want to include newspaper and magazine articles if your topic is one that might have been included in newspapers and magazines. I hope that I've clearly conveyed to you the importance of research in preparing this research paper. To have a successful research paper, you should have a large number of sources. 20 to 30 different sources is a minimum. And these sources should come from various types of material: books, journals, government sources, and newspapers and magazines. 2 weeks from today, I'd like you to turn in the first stage of this research assignment so that I can check on your progress. 2 weeks from today, you should turn in your topic and an initial list of the sources you've found so far. You'd better get to work. You have 2 weeks to come up with a topic and begin the search for sources.
Number 47. How does the professor describe the paper?
Number 47. How does the professor describe the paper? Number 48. What is not mentioned as a possible source? Number 49. How many different sources are required? Number 50. What should be submitted in 2 weeks?
Oke, jadi di sini aku minta maaf dulu karena aku recordnya itu ulang setiap 10 menit. Jadi time yang di atas nih nggak kepake di sini. Tapi kalau kalian mau coba aplikasinya langsung, itu bisa kalian kondisikan, itu pasti bakal tepat waktunya. Jadi intinya kalau waktunya masih tersisa, kalian bisa checklist ulang ke nomor-nomor yang mana belum meyakinkan. Kayak misalkan nomor 7 kurang meyakinkan, kalian bisa klik nomor 7, kemudian nanti kalian bisa ubah jawabannya. Nanti pas tes TOEFL, kalian juga bakal bisa untuk ganti jawaban, dan sebelum kalian klik finish, kalian tuh bisa untuk ganti jawaban. Nah, jadi di sini karena aku juga kurang fokus tadi dengerinnya karena nggak pakai headset, Jadi kita akan tahu jawabannya setelah kita klik finish berapa hasil resultnya. Jadi di sini benar 19, salah 31, kemudian skor 44. Aku juga nggak terlalu paham banget sama bahasa Inggris. Jadi kita sama-sama belajar di sini. Mungkin kalian lebih bagus nilainya daripada aku. Kongres, karena untuk bisa dapat nilai TOEFL yang baik itu kalian benarnya tuh nggak boleh kayak gini, cuma 19 kayak gitu ya. Oke, jadi di sini resultnya kayak gini. Untuk sesi 1 listening dulu, karena ini aku pakai aplikasi yang nggak registrasi, jadinya kalau mau ngerekam layar tuh cuma dibatasi 10 menit, harus diulang 10 menit diulang gitu. Intinya kalau kalian mau tes listeningnya itu bisa kalian check out kayak gini. Ternyata di akhir-akhir lebih banyak benar ya. Oke, di sini kalian bisa klik finish, kemudian nanti di sini ada reset buat ulangi tes dan report. Report tuh ini kayak gini jadi ya. Oke, benar salahnya. Ini kan exercise ya, jadinya nggak ada report secara listeningnya tuh ngapain. Tapi di latihan-latihan yang lain tuh ada. Oke, jadi nah nih bagian per partnya itu lengkap banget, kunci rahasianya dan lain sebagainya.
Number 1.
Nanti tuh
Number
misalkan
2.
kita salah, kita finish
Steve able
juga
to get
nanti
into the
bakal
house?
ada
I
keterangan kayak
left the
gini.
door unlocked for him.
What does the woman
Kalimat dari
assume
naratornya
Steve
itu langsung
did?
kayak gimana. Ini aplikasi yang worth it buat kalian. Jadi kalau kalian mau, nanti aku bisa kasih taruh link buat waktu download kalau masih ada ya. Dan sekian. Oke, kita balik ke Oke, kita stopkan sampai di sini. Dan thank you.